We've literally been in the bear market since Trump took over. Everything he promised was a lie. While most of you sold and are absolutely sure that we are actually entering the bear market, today I will prove and I will share exactly and I will share my thoughts why we are not in the bear market. I will share why we actually go into insane parabolic run and why Murad is actually correct. That if you would be putting $2,000 in SPX at this stage, there is quite high chance that at the real top of this cycle you will be exiting if you hold with $800,000. This one might be the most important video you ever watched in the last several weeks. Make sure to press the like button. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. Without further ado, let's start. Everyone is calling for a bear market, yet 2025 was a bear market. Why am I saying this? Because only 12 assets actually outperformed Bitcoin in 2025. In general, especially with the drawdown that we are seeing on the market right now, we have been down only through the whole year. And no one can call the current thing a bull market because Ethereum slightly reached previous all-time high levels. Everyone was screaming about Solana, how Solana did great. Guys, Solana slightly went above the all-time high of the previous cycle. And they're just in the monetary value, right? Because the market cap of Solana increased heavily. And the reason it did so well is because it absolutely went to hell in the bear market, went to $8. If Ethereum would go to $100 in the bear market, everyone would also be screaming that, wow, Ethereum had such a nice bull market. So many people were able to make money. We are at the critical point in the macro scenario out there. We are at the peak bearish sentiment in the crypto market. We are exactly before the extension of the business cycle. And I am seeing this for running my own software development company. Outsourcing company, we provide engineers to a range of companies in the world. I know what is happening in the East. I know where Russia is investing money into currently, where Kazakhstan investing money into currently, where China is investing money into currently. Murad said this on the podcast. We are in the cold AI war. And if you would check the history of cold wars, Murad said it himself as well, you would see that cold wars are inflationary. One of the sides or all of the sides, they will try to print their way out of this situation. And this can only mean one thing, that we are just going to extend from here. And what I actually like about this whole scenario is how similar it is to 2020. Just look at this chart. Are you ready? This thing got 400,000 views. Are you ready? This is the 2020 chart. The sentiment was the same because I was doing videos before exactly on this topic. The sentiment was altcoins are dead, Bitcoin is the only thing available on the market, DeFi and NFTs are dead, which was only the first part of the run. Only the first part of the run, because the assets that outperformed before in this uptrend right here, which was DeFi summer and these were DeFi altcoins, they went up like crazy in a true bull run, which happened right after the whole situation. And that's why I'm saying that meme coins are actually going to 100x from here. If it's not clear from Murad podcast, if it's not clear from my yesterday video as well, you have to understand liquidity inflows. You have to understand the purest forms of assets out there. All I would say from my end is that I think trenches are actually dead. I think coins that are present on this market, that have cult communities, that have good charts, they would be the ones that will be outperforming like crazy. This will be the first 5-year cycle. Everything took longer this time. A bigger pump needs a bigger preparation. 4-year bulls think we are here, right here at the belief. 4-year bears think we are here, right here after the complacency that we are going to zero. But we are actually here. We are in this belief right here. And I'm saying 2025 was actually a bear market year. Nothing was happening. Institutions and whales were just reaccumulating the assets. They took the whole year to reaccumulate the assets because they need a bunch of time in order to enter giant positions that they are entering in this market. First, 2025 was a bear market. We are going into bull run finally. Nothing before was a bull run. Identify liquidity inflows. There is no bull run in crypto until people who made money in stocks are eventually coming to crypto. We did not see something like this happen. What happened is crypto natives who knew about crypto from previous cycle, maybe 2013, 2017, 2020, 2021, I believe vast majority of people that provided liquidity for the market in order to essentially have this bull run, in order for people who are closer to the house, for influencers, KOLs and crypto businesses, in order for them to be able to wrap all these people, they came from the cycle of 2021. I believe the vast majority of people that came and provided liquidity, they came from the cycle of 2021. They just came back into the space. They remember in their heads all of this degeneracy that was happening. They remembered how they won. And as inside casinos, when you remember only once how big you have won one time, you would try to repeat it constantly and you would just keep losing money. This is exactly what happened with crypto natives. We never had proper inflows of majority of people out there that actually made money in stocks. We had some random retail TikTok meme coin waves, but that's not it. That's not it. This did not happen. Bull runs, they should be happening for several months at least several months of up only price action with blow off top in 30 final days of the price action. 2025 was bear market, became consensus, it will be the pump year. Just remember, even Murat in his interviews, he was always saying 2025 is the best year, I will be selling at the end of 2025. So many people were actually saying this, and when so many people are saying this, that means that they essentially create this sentiment that is present on the market that pushes everyone involved in the market essentially try to front run, try to get into altcoins, try to get exposure, try to buy stuff. That's why we have seen such insane liquidations on 10th of October. And all this psyop that was created by CZ, all this DEX meta, Aster, they essentially push people to trade with leverage. Just understand what was happening. Crypto natives were buying altcoins for all this time. They got a small pump, which none of them sold because probably the averages that they were buying all the way down. Like most of them were probably not even in break even, right? So they decided that they would essentially want to hold for longer, which eventually resulted in coins just going lower and lower and lower, which eventually pushed them to sell what they had on spot and move it onto leverage. In connection with CZ, the biggest KOL in crypto space, pushing leverage trading through Aster, pushing it everywhere. And then they made a deal with Trump, his family, to rob everyone. Crypto natives are up and no one cares about them. No one cares about it because the whole idea always is to show up only price action for people out there, for people in stocks, condition them for price only price action. Make sure, persuade them, not just by words, by action. Persuade them that things are just going up only, just have to hold. Cleanse the crypto natives, remove all of the liquidity, make sure they won't be able to make money in the upcoming run, and then eventually push the crypto assets higher. Make sure that the main benefactors of that are people coming from stocks, true retail that never knew about crypto. Guys, most of the retail that entered this run, except people who enter for meme coins, right? They are crypto natives. They are participants of the previous cycles. They know about crypto. They knew about crypto before. Essentially, right? Condition new people that are entering that things here are up only. Here are crazy, insane percentages in many assets. So they will essentially hold. They will create liquidity for the big players, for whales, for market manipulators to dump on them for months. Remember Mike Tyson in the previous cycle at the top of Solana screaming buy Solana $250. He was saying that. Remember Mark Wahlberg with his ads. Remember Justin Bieber buying Bored Apes, Snoop Dogg, and Eminem music video as well. All of that was liquidity creation. Everyone was screaming. Solana went to $140. Everyone was screaming discounts, discounts, buy discounts. This is exactly the sentiment that these people pay for, the whales pay for to create this sentiment because they need this sentiment to create liquidity, to wrap more effectively. And this is something that was happening this year, thus far. My general thesis is the cycle sped up by a year where 2025 was the bear and 2026 is the bull. 2024 ETF launch eliminated a year of crap and whales massively sold in 2025, like a typical bear, except Instas absorbed it all, institutions. Come Q1, the market will realize the bulls began. Can you imagine what is happening? There are multiple takes currently, like people who are usually on the forefront because I'm starting to see these theses here and there. And Murat has been talking about these things for months and all he's just getting at this stage is he's just being clowned on. Like he's saying people who bought SPX below $1, they would be seen as visionary later. People just clown. Nah, it would actually happen like this. It will actually fucking happen like this. You have to understand these things. You have to be positioned. And again, the assets that outperformed heavily already in 2024, those would be the assets that will be outperforming in the true bull run. That's why I'm saying meme coins are going to 100x from here. However, I also like very much the category leaders from Murat out there, because plays that would be able to have strongest holder culture out there, place that would be able to attract the biggest amount of retail market participants out there. Those are the ones that will be reaching crazy numbers. Crazy, insane numbers. And if you are positioning in them early, and if you are just holding them, you will be winning in very insane way. This is a tough period. This is a tough period for everyone. I'm losing money myself, but I just see the light at the end of the tunnel. The goal currently is to get exposure and hold. And that's it. We have a very clear invalidation from trade setup. Like, it's very straightforward. It's very nice. If you're going below 85k, yeah, it's probably bear market, probably should sell. Nothing is happening from here. But this is just an extended cycle because it was never about any Bitcoin halving. This idea is just stupid. It was always about liquidity cycles. And this liquidity cycle is delayed, mainly due to COVID and everything that happened there. Mainly due to inflation, economy, and stuff like this. But they have to print their way out of the Cold War. This is how they will be playing this game. And this is how you can get position currently. Under QT, risk on assets, do the worst. Buy the assets that did nicely and just hold them. And that's it. If you're actually exposed to this information currently, if you have a privilege to watch this video right now, you're actually quite blessed. Thank you very much for watching this one. I shall be seeing you tomorrow. Bye-bye.